Welcome to Around San Diego. So glad to have you with me. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and look ahead in just 30 minutes. I do want to share with you, though, because this is just continually changing, really minute by minute. We are tracking Hurricane Hilary at this minute. She's making her way up the coast of Baja and is expected to hit us with heavy wind and rain really Sunday into Monday morning. So really heed the warnings and just start to prepare for anything that you might need now. Extra supplies, extra food, tie down that umbrella. Just know that Hurricane Hilary is headed our way. By the time she gets to us, it is expected to be a tropical storm, so she will weaken, but still we could see gusts up to 60 miles per hour in the mountains and deserts. And again, we are expecting a good amount of rain inland valleys and then along the coast. So really just stay with CBS8.com for developments. Now we head to Hawaii. Search and rescue efforts do continue in Maui as the death toll continues to climb after the devastating wildfires hit the island and more than 1,000 people still remain unaccounted for at this hour. And the efforts do not stop there. Specialized animal rescue teams from San Diego are out there searching as well for displaced and injured pets. Team members from the San Diego Humane Society are in Maui. CBS 8's Steve Price has a look at their first day on the job.
4 emergency response team members from the San Diego Humane Society landed in Maui yesterday, and first thing this morning, they hit the ground running. They are hoping to rescue pets that survived the devastating wildfires out there and reunite them with their owners.
They found this cat badly burned and took it to a field veterinary station for triage and pain medication.
Primarily right now it's going to be search and rescue.
Summer Piper says they're starting their efforts on the edges of the areas hit by flames, figuring those pets had the best chance to escape and survive.
It's complete and total devastation and destruction. So around the perimeters and the edges are going to be probably where we're finding a lot of the need. So it's not good.
The San Diego volunteers are working with the Maui Humane Society, which released this video of other animals they've recently rescued. Some have been treated and released to their owners. Others are in bad shape.
We have seen animals come through our shelter that have severe burns. We have seen dogs that have essentially had their paws all the way burnt down to the bone from running from the fire.
Pet owners have been posting pictures of their missing animals, hoping someone will spot their fur babies and help them return home. Others have been putting up photos of animals they've found, hoping the owners will come forward. What's clear is that there are a lot of missing pets out there, more than anyone really knows.
We don't even have a potential number for people. I wouldn't even have a guess for animals. They haven't even reached, I don't even think 5 to 10% of the area where we're searching. So it's a big unknown at the moment.
Summer says this is very different than a hurricane response where animals are buried under debris. Here, everything has been burned to the ground.
There's just nothing. There's just nothing.
Which means those pets that survived could be anywhere. The San Diego crew is planning to be in Maui for 8 to 10 days, but they will stay longer if needed. Steve Price, CBS 8.
Steve, thank you. And the Maui fires are hitting close to home for many, of course, here in San Diego. The Cohen Restaurant Group, which owns Costera on Harbor Island, also owns 2 restaurants on Maui. The restaurants on the island did actually not suffer any structural damage, but nearly a dozen employees lost their homes.
It was devastating at the beginning when we couldn't locate all of our employees and get in touch with everybody.
Yeah, the group set up a GoFundMe promising to match all donations. They get up to $100,000. Plus, other businesses across the county are stepping up to help raise donations. For more information on where you can donate, visit CBS8.com. Well, a woman is suing after she was hit by a trash truck. That moment all caught on camera. You can see a waste management dumpster truck move forward, then back up, and a fork from its forklift then hits her, knocking the woman over. The incident seriously injured her. CBS 8's Abby Black shares how her life is forever changed.
A Mission Valley woman says that in 2021, she was hit and injured by a waste management truck. Now she's suing the trash and recycling company and says that she has the video to prove it. This is the surveillance video taken from inside the parking garage at the Mission Village condos. It will make you cringe. Watch as the waste management driver puts the truck in reverse, then one of the metal forks from the forklift impales a woman and throws her to the ground.
She's had a neck surgery where the doctors had to go in through the front of her neck and fuse her vertebrae in her neck.
The woman is Deanna Beck. She says that she was a dolphin trainer at SeaWorld for 16 years. She didn't want to talk about what happened, but was at the news conference today with her attorneys, Corey Garrard and John Gomez. They shared the surveillance video and spoke about the lawsuit they filed against Waste Management and the driver, claiming negligence.
Really has devoted her lifetime to the care and protection of animals and really enjoyed that career. It's something that she can't do any longer.
Moments before Beck was hit, you see on the video the waste management driver move the dumpster back into place. Fast forward a few seconds, watch as the driver puts on his seatbelt. Beck walks into the garage and waits for the truck to move forward.
You can see Deanna checks to make sure she's good to go. She's in the marked crosswalk.
And then for an unknown reason, the truck goes in reverse, and before Beck can turn and see what's happening, she's knocked to the ground.
And she's violently skewered by the waste management vehicle in reverse.
Garrard says what you don't see on camera, but he plans to prove in court, is the driver violating company and vehicle codes.
The defendant of the waste management vehicle being driven in this case was on his phone at the time he impaled Deanna Beck. That driver had been written up multiple times in the past for operating waste management vehicles while on his phone.
Beck is seeking millions in dollars in damages. A civil jury trial is scheduled in October in Superior Court. We reached out to Waste Management. They say that they are aware of the lawsuit, but say they have no comment. In Mission Valley, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Abby, thank you. Well, a Camp Pendleton Marine accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl inside of the barracks was identified for the first time on Thursday during a preliminary hearing on base. Private First Class Avery Rosario walked into military court in handcuffs. The defense argued he met the alleged victim on the dating app Tinder and that the teenager told him that she was just 22. A ruling will be made in the coming weeks whether there is probable cause for the case to go to court-martial. And right now, the mayor of Chula Vista is considering a possible homeless encampment ban similar to San Diego's. This comes as San Diego is entering its third week of enforcement for its ban. Right now, Chula Vista nonprofits are having to turn unsheltered people away. They say that an influx of homeless people are moving into South County, and it's exacerbating the limited services that they offer. Now, the Chula Vista mayor wants to expand a rule that prohibits tents on sidewalks to all public spaces. Homeless advocates say they won't allow a ban in their city.
Are we going to be playing tennis back and forth between us and San Diego with people's lives? Because where are those folks going to go? Are they going to spill into National City, Imperial Beach?
We need to make sure that we're getting homeless off the streets, but also protecting our neighborhoods and our small businesses.
Local nonprofits are asking for donations to help keep up with the demand of people needing services. And Congressman Adam Schiff was in San Diego this week. Schiff toured the border area and talked with the mayor of Imperial Beach about sewage coming from Mexico. Advocates raised concerns about border safety. Data shows that falls at the border wall have gone up drastically. Last year, there were 140 falls. That number was 12 in 2016. The mayor of Imperial Beach also told Schiff that sewage has caused some beaches to be closed for 641 consecutive days now.
Things I had read about, but actually seeing is so helpful in terms of conceptualizing the problem.
Yeah, Schiff made no promises during his stop in the South Bay, but he did ask follow-up questions and said that he would look into the issues. A new state bill could change the way we spell and say certain non-English names. If passed, California Assembly Bill 77 would allow the use of diacritical marks such as an accent on government-issued documents. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe explains why this is so important to so many.
Diacritical marks are those little special symbols that you sometimes see added to letters and words. They're like tiny decorations for letters that can change how they're pronounced or give them a special meaning. You probably noticed them in words from other languages or even in some English words. But for millions of people with diacritical marks in their names, these marks can be essential to understanding and acknowledging their heritage.
I think it's a great idea that way for our names and more nationalities are correctly the way they should be.
15 million Latinos in the state of California and others with non-English names could soon be able to spell their names as they were intended. Gabriela Sanchez, whose last name is spelled with an accent, says she fully supports the proposed bill.
I think it's very important because I think there's a lot of different nationalities in this world, and I think we should all be respected.
AB 77 was recently introduced by California Assembly member Blanca Pacheco, who represents the state's 64th district.
My parents are both immigrants from Mexico, and having their names spelled correctly was always very important, or even said correctly was always important for my family.
The bill would allow individuals to put diacritical marks on vital records, such as birth and death certificates, as well as marriage licenses. In my case, my name is pronounced Rocio de la Fe, but without any accents, it would be Rocio de la Fe. Another example of how important these diacritical marks can be, take colon and colon. Both are spelled the same, but have two completely different meanings. The one without the accent means colon, while the one with the accent is a person's last name. Another example, cana and caña. The first means gray hair, while the latter means sugarcane.
This could potentially help in the millions of people within the state of California.
There have been previous attempts to pass legislation. In 2014, the bill failed after it was deemed too costly of an update. A similar bill was vetoed in 2017 by then Governor Jerry Brown. The bill was reintroduced a third time earlier this year, but it was held in committee due to concerns over the mechanics, cost, and feasibility of the bill. The California Department of Public Health estimates it would cost millions of dollars to reprogram computer systems that record births and deaths to accept diacritical marks. But Pacheco says she remains optimistic the bill, which has bipartisan support, will pass when it's reintroduced later this year.
We're going to continue working on it to perfect it, and people are excited about this. People want to be able to spell their names correctly on their vital records.
Rocio de la Fe, CBS 8.
Yeah, something so small can make a really big difference. So, Rocio, thank you. We'll keep you posted. Well, a San Diego State student is warning about a peeping Tom in the college area. She shared Ring camera video with us showing the man staring into her bedroom on Thursday night. She says she called police and officers searched the area but couldn't find him. She believes peeping Toms are targeting the neighborhood because it's so dark. The woman says no street lights work on her street nor on the surrounding ones. She filled out a report on the Get It Done app, but it says it's going to take 332 days to repair them.
Students everywhere, but like young females who are scared, like they're scared to be walking around at night in the dark. It just makes it so much us more of like a target.
Yeah, so we are working for you and reached out to the city of San Diego about the street lights. Council member Shani Rivera says that lights in the college area will be repaired next month, but they're a mile away from the students' streets. Well, overcrowding in the emergency room at UC San Diego Health's La Jolla Hospital is forcing patients to be treated in the hallways. Nurses have been protesting the conditions for months. CBS 8's David Godfredson witnessed the overcrowding firsthand just last week when his mother was injured and had to be admitted there at the ER.
We want the public to know that the ER is overwhelmingly overcrowded.
My mom was one of the lucky ones. She only had to stay in the UC San Diego Health ER in La Jolla for about 6 hours. She was treated for a broken hand and abrasions after taking a nasty fall in her garden. As I sat next to my mom, I could not believe what I was seeing. Dozens of patients in gurneys and motorized chairs lining the hallway walls being treated in what amounts to a hallway ER.
99% of the time, we don't have really an open room for patients. They're going to be in the hallway, in a chair, for hours and hours.
Maria Tan is a ER nurse at UCSD Health in La Jolla. She says more than 70% of the patients on gurneys in the hallways, similar to these patients in a New York ER, are waiting for rooms to open up so they can be admitted to the hospital.
They have to wait at least 3 to 5 days to wait for a room.
In the hallway?
Yes.
Back in March, nurses at the hospital held a picket outside UC San Diego Health La Jolla to protest hallways being used to treat as many as 75 patients. The nurses also have privacy concerns.
Sick and vulnerable patients are forced to discuss intimate health details with us, with strangers able to overhear.
The hospital has been using a tent for overflow, which can hold about 12 patients. As you can see, my mom was sitting in space Q2 in the hallway ER with letters and numbers posted every few feet all along the walls. UCSD emailed me a statement saying, in part, UC San Diego Health is currently experiencing unprecedented demand for its medical and surgical care, a need which is outpacing available hospital beds. The impact is most visible in our emergency departments. Temporary use of overflow areas and periodic ambulance diversion are also being used when necessary. One of the most concerning things is this seems to be standard operating procedure. Those nurses were picketing 5 months ago and the hallway ER is still overcrowded. In La Jolla, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
David, thank you. And UC San Diego Health does remind patients to only use the ER for life-threatening emergencies or illnesses that require immediate attention. They also encourage the use of urgent care and doctor video visits. Also hope your mom's okay, David. Well, the Chula Vista Fire Department has kicked off a new program to keep kids safe. It's a joint effort pilot program alongside Rady Children's to raise awareness about things like safe sleeping, drowning, and keeping kids safe around high windows. The Chula
If the windows are wide open and there's a dresser in front of it or a bed in front of it, you're going to want to fix that as fast as possible. At least have them drop the window down and then come back with a window lock. And if there's no crib, or you see a bunch of kids in one bed and one of them's an infant, you're going to want to talk to them about safe sleep.
Yeah, the Chula Vista Fire Department says it's trained more than 200 employees to help identify unsafe sleeping arrangements and open windows where young children live. This has all been made possible by a Kiwanis grant that has also given the department pack and plays and window locks that families can use. Another key part of this program is how parents can prevent drowning. The fire department has children's-sized flotation vests, all for families to pick up. Well, the responses to our stories about sky-high water bills in San Diego have not stopped. More customers are coming forward sharing their outrageously expensive bills or lack of any bill at all. CBS 8's Abby Black is once again working for you on how to protect yourself before the water bills start adding up.
$7,136.76. My jaw went to the floor.
Since Tuesday, when we first told you about Eric Einstein in San Carlos, who was on the hook for an $11,000 water bill in San Diego, we've been inundated with similar stories. Wendy says she hadn't received a water bill since July 2021. Mary says her mother's water bill is $2,264. CK says they couldn't find a leak, so they tried to call the city about their $480 water bill and got nothing. Nada, zero response. Russell says that he did his due diligence and says checking online shows a balance due of $0, but he can't get a hold of anyone either to find out what's going on. Derek says when he called the city, he waited for a rep for 50 minutes and then was put on hold again. John says the city told him they were understaffed. This is a lot of reading, but we know it feels like no one's looking out for you, but we are. We're working for you to help you give yourself the heads up about a costly bill on the horizon.
First, make sure that you're receiving a bill, whether it be via email or a paper one in the mail. You can also download one on the My SD Water app. Second, once you get your bill, check the due date and set up an alert so you can check how much is due and what your usage is. While we're on that note, you can check your average usage by looking at your past bills, and I like to go from year to year. Third, if your bill says that nothing is due, that does not mean that you're off the hook. In fact, that could be a big red flag that there's a problem.
While it can be frustrating trying to get a hold of the city, don't give up and let us know so we can work for you to help. We know this doesn't solve the problem, but we want to help you get ahead of this before it becomes a costly surprise. Working for you, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Yeah, we really have received just countless emails. So Abby, thanks for your help on that. Well, farmers in Fallbrook and Rainbow are pushing back against a bill that could potentially prevent them from getting cheaper water. North County water leaders say they want to leave the San Diego County Water Authority and get cheaper water from a supplier in Riverside. That would depend on a successful vote from people living in Fallbrook and Rainbow. But the city of San Diego and others from the Water Authority are pushing back. They are supporting a bill that would require a county-wide vote before the districts could switch suppliers. Farmers in Fallbrook and Rainbow are calling on lawmakers to reject that bill.
If that moves forward, we're going to be stuck. Our neighbors are losing their farms left and right. If we don't have an affordable water source, ag is going to go dry up and go away. There's no way to do that.
Yeah, they've lost about 1 million avocado trees just in the last few years up there. So we'll keep you posted. A vote for the bill could happen sometime this week. And police officers at San Diego International Airport now have a specifically designed room to interview victims of human trafficking and domestic violence. Harbor Police unveiled the new interview room to CBS 8's Brian White.
Yeah, the idea is to make victims in these kinds of situations more comfortable in talking with police in this new interview room. So let's take a tour.
So we created this room just a few months ago in response to the need for domestic violence and human trafficking victims, where they can come and relax in a very calm, peaceful environment.
This is what they call a soft interview room, where suspected victims of trafficking or any kind of abuse can be brought here in hopes they'll feel comfortable enough to open up.
They're afraid. They're fearful for their lives. They've been coerced. They've been beaten. And so when they come into the airport, they don't want to talk to law enforcement. They've been trained not to do that.
Jeff Wohler is president and CEO of the San Diego Harbor Police Foundation, a nonprofit funded through public and private donations and grants. They paid $8,000 to create this safe space for victims.
Feel how soft and relaxing and comfortable these chairs are, and the tables just create a sense of warmth. We have beverages, water, and soft drinks for them.
And they even have a salt lamp and fountain as part of the decor, and videos for kids, which is a far cry from the normal rooms they use.
Traditionally, interview rooms are very sterile, cold, unwelcoming.
Magda Fernandez is chief of San Diego Harbor Police, the primary law enforcement agency at the airport. Her officers have special training on what to look for.
Usually the victim is quiet, reserved. Usually their companion speaks on their behalf. They are usually the ones that stand behind and don't have any communication, where they can't raise their hands for help or say help me or anything like that.
Victims of trafficking are known to travel through large airports, often traveling alone, but won't ask for help because of the control their abusers have over them. Chief Fernandez says it's important officers approach them in the right way.
How we do that type of questioning and how we handle them is critical to their rehabilitation and to the prosecution of a case.
At San Diego International, I'm Brian White for CBS 8.
Very interesting, Brian, thanks. Well, take a look at this. A local man wants you to watch your step next time you go to Fiesta Island. He says the beach is riddled with nails in the sand and could be dangerous for people walking around barefoot. CBS 8's Jasmine Ramirez went to Fiesta Island and saw that for herself.
Tonight we saw it for ourselves, nails and screws all over the beach. A local man says it's from people burning wood pallets for bonfires. Now he's working to spread the word. As the sun goes down, you'll start to see fire pits lighting up at Fiesta Island.
But we're just down here enjoying family fun.
But not everyone is being responsible. Tonight we walked around with David Rosa, who bought a magnet after stepping on a nail last week.
And typically under it or even inside of it, you'll find a whole lot of metal.
He visits Fiesta Island often and was shocked when he pulled hundreds of rusty nails from the sand this weekend.
We came out here this past Saturday and where the girls were suntanning, just went around the towel, just a little perimeter, found a giant bag, about 3 pounds of nails.
He says the nails are left behind from pallets and pieces of furniture burned in bonfires. According to the city, burning pallets or trash is not allowed.
It's careless here, you know, it's gone wild. It's sad because this is actually a beautiful place in San Diego. I recommend it to everybody that comes here. I don't recommend it anymore.
He says the nails have sent people to the ER and forced pet owners to bring their dogs to emergency vet visits. He hopes to see more done to clean up the beach and make it safe.
I just hope to see the city come out here clean, and if you do come out here and clean, just clean after yourself. That's all it takes. You know, come out here with a magnet if you can. It's only 15 bucks. Sweep around your area, and the more people do it, the less there will be.
And as a reminder, the city has a ban on all wood fires at the beach. The only ones allowed are the ones in designated fire pits. Jasmine Ramirez, CBS 8.
Yes, please let us all do our part so we can keep our beaches beautiful. So we have, of course, been telling you about Hurricane Hilary, expected to bring heavy rain to San Diego this weekend. And now we are learning that rising ocean temperatures could lead to unpredictable weather here in San Diego. Oceanographers worry that an El Nino year will cause another marine heat wave in California. Rising water temperatures can cause ice melt, sea level rise, and really unpredictable weather.
These hurricanes are basically giant heat engines. So the more heat that you have in the ocean, they pull the heat off the surface of the ocean and then turn it into the circulation that drives these intense low pressure cells that develop into hurricanes.
Wow, yeah, so it will weaken once it reaches our cooler ocean temps and really should be a tropical storm by the time it reaches us, but that's still under 74-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So please know that that's headed our way. Experts say the rising temperatures can throw the ecosystem off balance. This can change animal behavior and even impact the food sources of some marine life. And we should always keep San Diego cleaned up by picking up after ourselves, as we were just saying. But with more people spending time outdoors this summer, the trash is really piling up countywide. CBS 8 Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis shows us how to enjoy San Diego's outdoors in a really eco-friendly way.
A lot of what we see tends to be, you know, like I said, these summer holidays, we're out there, we're having these big family events or neighborhood events, and inevitably things like food wrappers, you know, drinking cups, plastic water bottles, those types of things are very commonly left behind.
Fun fact, the last time I spoke with Chelsea McGimsey with Project Clean Water, she had me picking up dog poop in Balboa Park. So this is a nice change of scenery.
And we really want to make sure that we are properly disposing of our trash.
We strolled La Jolla Shores to talk about a big issue piling up across our county: trash. Project Clean Water wants to remind you of the importance of proper trash disposal this summer with their Trash Free Starts With Me campaign. Did you know the 4th of July is considered the trashiest day of the year? With Labor Day around the corner, we have to remember to do our part to keep our county clean.
This is really something that all of us have a responsibility to do. Trash in the environment like this is called a non-point source pollution. It's coming from everywhere, which means we're all responsible.
And remember, just because you aren't at the beach doesn't mean your trash won't make it there. The top trash items traveling through our waterways and littering our environment are called commuter trash. These items are thrown out of your car or found at parks and along hiking trails. They include fast food wrappers, plastic water bottles, and plastic wrappers. The negative impacts of these plastic waste items are not only harmful to our environment.
There's a lot of research right now showing that plastic pollution, as it degrades in our environment, releases a hormone chemical similar to estrogen that can impact your own hormonal regulations.
The top trash items also include plastic caps on water bottles and cigarette butts. With so much single-use plastic waste, the verbiage is even changing when it comes to recycling it.
We've all heard reduce, reuse, recycle. There's a new saying now that there's so many single-use plastics. It's reduce, reuse, refuse, recycle, because single-use plastics are the most common trash item that we see.
Chelsea suggests disposing of your waste in a trash bin with a lid on it at parks and beaches. This will prevent seagulls and the wind from carrying it away. On the trails, please don't forget to pack out what you pack in. And here are a few reusable recommendations as well.
A really easy one is just reusable water bottles. You know, you can get a metal water bottle or an insulated one. You could use a plastic one if you wanted, as long as it's sturdy and reusable. And then a lot of times when we're going out for picnics with our families, we'll just carry all of the ingredients out in our, plastic single-use grocery bags. Swap that out for a reusable bag.
But trash isn't the only harmful pollutant jeopardizing our wildlife. Chelsea also suggests using a reef-friendly sunscreen when protecting your skin.
Traditional sunscreens contain chemicals that are harmful to corals. They cause abnormal growth. It disrupts their gene regulations, and it's kind of akin to a cancer in a human. And so you want to find sunscreens that are mineral-based and sit on top of the skin. If you can find a sunscreen where the only ingredient is zinc oxide, that's a reef-safe sunscreen.
So let's keep the beach days, hikes, and outdoor parties going strong this summer, just with less harmful impacts on us and the place we call home.
Carlene, thanks again. Let's just do our part. Just sincerely appreciate it. We want to keep our beaches beautiful. Hey, how about this? Some exciting news for San Diegans. The Marine Room has been named the third most TikTok famous restaurant in America. The La Jolla restaurant has gotten buzz not only for its amazing cuisine, but also for its stunning ocean views of the high tide waves that have landed on everyone's For You page, giving it more than 4 million views. It is beautiful. Well, many people are sharing their hopes online that a fan favorite buffet restaurant will make a return in La Mesa. We're talking about Soup Plantation. So what is the truth? Is it coming back? CBS 8's Ariana Cohen is working for you.
Many CBS 8 viewers are sounding off on social media, asking if Soup Plantation will ever return to this building in La Mesa. Well, I found the answer.
People have been excited about the possibility of Soup Plantation making its return here at 9158 Fletcher Parkway for the last couple years. Writing online, the Soup Plantation in La Mesa is reopening. This is the best news I've gotten in months. My mom actually screaming when I told her Soup Plantation is coming back. And Soup Plantation is coming back to SD. And now I have hope for the world. There was once hope Soup Plantation would make its return during the summer last year. I went to the location today to find out if Soup Plantation will ever make its return and talk to the manager here to find out once and for all.
I'm a part of many neighborhood networks, Facebook groups, Instagram groups, social media. Everyone's anticipating the return of Soup Plantation. So I try to put as much information out there as possible that unfortunately it's not coming back.
What was once a Soup Plantation is now Golden Life ADHC and has been since December 2022.
It's an adult day health care center. It's part of the CBAS program, which is community-based adult services. So we provide a daycare program for adults and seniors and adults with disabilities.
She adds they have some big plans for the center that will be announced next year. But as for now, the dreams of Soup Plantation coming back are shattered. Working for you, Ariana Cohen, CBS 8.
Yeah, very popular spot. Lots love it. Ariana, thank you. Well, before we go, some exciting news. San Diego is set to host the World Athletics Road Running Championships in 2025. That makes San Diego the first U.S. city that was chosen to host the new international event. It's happening for the first time this October in La Tiva. It'll actually be held annually starting in 2025 in San Diego, followed by Copenhagen, Denmark, then in 2026. The championships will include 1 mile and 5 kilometer races and a half marathon. As always, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for staying informed. Once again, we are tracking Hurricane Hilary. She is expected to weaken and become a tropical storm by the time it reaches us, but we are in store for a very wet and windy weekend. Downed trees and power lines are possible, as well as flooding. So really just stay safe, download our app for up-to-the-minute information, and just know that the first and only time a tropical storm hit the state of California was back in Long Beach in 1939. So again, get the supplies you need and stay home if you can. Heavy rain is expected Sunday into Monday. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take good care.